I was needing validation, which I agree is whack. Mad at my therapist, like, bitch, I agree with that. Here's the kicker though, my therapist is me. Complain about my problems, how American to me. There's a scarcity of free thinkers, it's all group thought. That's what they think, that's not what you thought. Before you saw the popular vote, you scared that the world will leave if you rockin' the boat. So you don't, all aboard, now you safe in here. But you don't even recognize your own face in here, fuck it.
Hello and welcome to this edition of the KC On Outdoor Podcast. Tonight we're filming from the great city of Nashville, Tennessee after a series of unfortunate events unfolded last week. On this show, I am all about providing the most accurate knowledge and down-to-earth perspective by listening to all sides, as this is how we can come together and progress change. I urge you to watch this video with an open mind and provide feedback in the comments section, as I do not wish to offend or insult anyone as we discuss this egregious situation. If we are looking to make change, it's imperative that we examine how, why, and what we can do to help prevent further shootings from occurring. Now, this event unfolded last Monday at the Covenant School, which is a private Presbyterian school in Green Hills, Nashville, Tennessee. They offer preschool to 6th grade with a total enrollment of about 200 students. So on that morning of March 27th, from 10:11 until 10:27 a.m., 3 9-year-old children and 3 adults were killed in a mass shooting by an individual who shall remain nameless, because the last thing we want to do is publicize these psychopaths, which will give them the glory that they desire. The shooter was a 28-year-old former student with no previous criminal record who identifies as a trans male, which is a biological woman at birth pretending to identify as a man. The shooter was armed with 3 firearms, an AR-15 style rifle, a Kel-Tec Sub 2000 carbine, which is also an assault weapon, and a handgun. At 9:54 a.m. on the morning of the shooting, the shooter, who shall remain nameless, arrived at the school parking lot in a Honda Fit. And just 3 minutes later, the shooter sent a text message that was basically a suicide note and that she planned to die that day. That friend who received the text then called the crisis hotline before contacting Davidson County Sheriff's Office at 10:13. But by that time, it was too late. At 10:11, the shooter shot through a set of glass doors and entered the building. The shooter then walked through the 2nd floor of the school and then began opening fire. The Metropolitan Nashville Police Department entered the building at 10:25 a.m. and began evacuating the floor as they began to search each floor for the shooter. 5 Metro Nashville police officers proceeded to the upstairs and saw him in the lobby area shooting at police cars out the window. 2 officers fired 8 rounds, leaving the shooter dead at 10:27 a.m., 14 minutes after the initial 911 call was made. The shooter had purchased 7 guns from 5 different stores and had lived with her parents, who claimed she had only possessed 1 gun to their knowledge, and that she was also receiving care from a doctor from an emotional disorder, but nothing to prevent her from purchasing as many firearms as she desires. This is the result of a few things. The school was not protected enough and clearly vulnerable for a shooting to occur. And secondly, we have a mental health issue that has not been properly addressed. Those who are anti-gun see this as an opportunity to ban assault weapons as a nation and seek more control and regulation on guns and gun laws, while those who are pro-gun don't want any more regulation and would like to see more properly trained armed individuals around to protect our school systems and institutions in general. I don't believe that outlawing assault weapons is the correct way to go about this. Now, there's many reasons, as I believe that people should have the right to own a firearm, and yes, some of these assault weapons are deadly and extremely dangerous, but we have the Second Amendment for a reason, and our rights cannot be infringed. Owning a gun can provide a sense of security and protection in situations where the police are not immediately available. Having a firearm can allow individuals to defend themselves and their property. For example, a homeowner is confronted by an intruder in the middle of the night and can use a gun to protect their family and property. In addition, guns can be used for hunting, recreational activities, and sports and shooting, just regular activities as well. The right to bear arms is enshrined in the Second Amendment of the United States of the Constitution. The Second Amendment was added to the Constitution in 1791, and that was to protect the rights of citizens to own guns and defend themselves against tyranny. The framers of the Constitution recognized that that right to bear arms was essential for the defense of a free society. Studies have shown that gun ownership does not necessarily lead to an increase in crime rates. In fact, in areas where there are more guns in the hands of law-abiding citizens, there are often lower crime rates. Criminals are less likely to attack individuals or homes where they know that the potential victim may be armed and able to defend themselves. You go to Texas, you go to Nebraska, that's the case there. You don't mess with those people. They have guns. Gun control laws often fail to address the root causes of gun violence. Many gun control measures are designed to limit access to firearms by law-abiding citizens, but they do little to prevent criminals from obtaining guns. Criminals will continue to find ways to obtain guns regardless of the laws in place. Rather than focusing on limiting access to guns, more attention should be given to addressing the root causes of gun violence, which is mental illness, poverty, and social inequality. The right to bear arms is an important right that should be protected. Owning a gun can provide a sense of security and protection, and it is enshrined in the Constitution. Gun ownership does not necessarily lead to an increase in crime rates, and gun control often fails to address the root causes of gun violence. Rather than limiting access to firearms, more attention should be given to addressing the underlying causes of gun violence. Therefore, I believe that individuals should have the right to own guns and defend themselves and their property. Over time, humans have adapted to these protective issues rather than mitigating them. In this crazy world we live in now, I believe it is necessary for every educational institution to have at least 3 armed police officers or military veterans on the property during school hours and events, by having 1 monitor the outside of the school, 1 monitor the inside, and 1 watching the cameras to communicate and watch for suspicious activity. Had this been the level of protection for the Covenant School in Nashville, Tennessee, I believe we would have seen less than 6 casualties. Instead of an armed officer arriving at the scene at 10:24 a.m., there would have been one there to notice an individual approaching the school with several firearms around 10:10 a.m., just 14 minutes before. It just shows how ill-prepared and vulnerable we are to these types of attacks, and they will continue to happen if we do not act and make protective adjustments. Mental health is also another factor at play here. Modern life has become more stressful than ever before. We live in a fast-paced world where we are constantly bombarded with information and have to deal with numerous pressures and expectations. Workplaces are becoming more competitive and demanding, and many people are struggling to find a work-life balance. Social media has also made it easier for us to compare ourselves to others and feel inadequate. There has been a lack of investment in mental health services. Mental health services have been chronically underfunded for many years, and there is often a lack of access to care. Many people who need help are unable to access it, which can lead to their conditions becoming more severe. One thing for sure is we have seen an increase in the woke movement and the amount of individuals with gender dysphoria. 5 to 10 years ago, that wasn't the case. This is something that has happened in the last couple years, and I don't want to blame one specific party or one specific identity, because that's just like saying if a white guy shot up the school, then it's all white people to blame. If a trans person shoots the school, it's all trans people to blame. That's not where I'm coming at. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there is an issue with mental health, and a lot of that ties into the indoctrination of kids and the indoctrination of these corrupt movements. And I'm all about freedom, but when you are forcing someone to swallow a pill that they don't want to, and that's a problem. It's important that we have the conversation about these controversial issues, and they may be deemed offensive, but we're not going to find any sort of solution if we ignore the problem and just move on, like every other case, every other similar shooting like this. There has to be a change, and it has to be a protective change. An adaptation, not a mitigation. That's the way I see it. Thank you for watching this with an open mind. I know these issues are not easy to talk about, and I certainly don't enjoy doing so, but like I said, it's important that we discuss this strategy and to inform others to speak out so we can find a solution to make all of our lives better and more safe. Make sure to like and comment below. I'd love to see what you guys think. Until next time.
Trying to fix the problem, doctors want to give me a pill. You know I still think I could do it without that. These professionals really doubt that. Luckily I found a therapist straight from the outback. She's always there for me when I'm feeling down under. Most people is too scared of therapy cause it's taboo. No wonder why we all fucked up. Intrusive thoughts hit me on the daily, but I know I'll make it.